But yeah, you want to talk about Peacemaker?
Yeah, we can go Peacemaker. So I haven't really said any of my thoughts on Peacemaker, I don't think. I really like Peacemaker. I think it is very funny. I think John Cena is great. I think he's always been kind of a comedic actor to me with like Blockers and Suicide Squad, obviously. He's been in a few other things, I feel like, but I can't think.
He was in like Trainwreck. I feel like was the big one that he was like first, like, oh, John Cena's like really funny type of thing, you know.
But he can also do like he can be kind of like in episode 3. This is also spoilers for Peacemaker, by the way. Episode 3 when he can't kill that guy, and he's kind of like he's kind of all disheveled and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, that was good. But yeah, I think James Gunn just hit it out of the park with Peacemaker so far. All the jokes are great. I am very intrigued on where the story's going. And I think, again, like I said, John Cena's great. All the supporting cast is great. And I really like the relationship of, and I'm not good with the characters' names.
Harcourt?
No. Amanda Waller and her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that kind of idea that they're kind of talking like, I don't know his name. The kind of leader of that group. Mern. He like talks shit about her. Yeah. And she like makes a face and she's like, Yeah. And I'm just really excited to see where the show goes, and maybe I don't know if it's gonna connect. I feel like it might, because I don't really know what the DCU is doing.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but if this is like its own separate thing, I'm totally down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you go check out my in-depth thoughts. I have about like a minute review on all 3 episodes up on the TikTok or Instagram right now. Actually, they're up on the channel, too, because they're uploaded as YouTube shorts. So whichever platform you guys want, they're up there to check out my deeper thoughts. But I'm really loving it. Everything you just said, so good. And I just really like the team dynamic. I feel like they really nailed it with like everybody with like Harcourt. And I really like Steve Agee as John Economist. I feel like he's really freaking funny. All the like dye beard jokes. Yeah. It's like, I don't dye my beard. Yeah, and then they just James Gunn just tweeted out posted a picture of all of them, and it was Steve Agee, and he had a gray beard. It was like, oh my god, everybody was like, and it didn't reference it at all, like the post, but everybody in the comments was just like, he does dye it. Like, oh my god. But like just the fact that like there's already those little jokes that everyone that has watched the show is like in on and loves and stuff. And then also just all the stuff with like the butterflies, like it's getting into that kind of crazy aspect of the DC universe where it's like, and that's what I really like too, is that like it is just so kind of like how now where Marvel is at the point of where you're just like what Hulk says in Infinity War, like there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man, like stuff like that, but like just with all the Batmite references, they're just like, there's just like these butterfly aliens that live in people's brains and stuff, and you're just like, you just have to roll with it because it's like that's the DC universe that we live in. It's just like, he's just like, I would. And just the fact that he can go like, I'd rather have Harley Quinn or Weasel other than you, like this fucking guy. And it's like, that's what I really like, is that they're just dropping all these DC references like left, right, and center. I really, really enjoy that stuff. And to me, it's like, also I kind of discussed this when we did our Eternals review. It's just a personal thing. I don't like anything more than maybe like a visual reference or a very quick thing. I don't like Marvel referencing DC and DC referencing Marvel. And that's why I love this, because your own universes have characters to mine for. You know what I mean? Like he could have been like, John Economist could have been like, oh, okay, Spider-Man, Mr. like righteous over here. But he didn't. He said a DC reference. And it's when you have just whatever to mine from, like, use it. You don't have to compare Icarus to Superman when you live in a world with Iron Man and Captain America. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And I'll tell you what. Yeah. As scary as the butterflies are, Robert Patrick is even more scary to me.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about him yet. White Dragon.
Terrifying in this movie.
I think he might end up being the bad of the actual season.
Oh,
now, I don't
yeah.
think he has to do with the butterflies.
No,
but I
right,
think it's
yeah.
gonna be the threat that he has to take down.
And you see like why Peacemaker is the way he is when you see his dad,
and you see why
with
people assume they're always like you're that racist superhero.
Yeah,
and also something that the show seems to maybe be setting up that isn't like it is in the comics is that maybe his dad is the original Peacemaker.
That's what I was getting.
Which is not how it is in the comics. But if that makes total sense that everybody's like, oh, you're that racist superhero, and it's like, because the cop even says to him when he goes to Detroit, remember, he's like, oh, are you playing dress up again?
Right, yeah.
And like his reluctancy to kind of give him the helmets, and
why I would say he has all that stuff.
Why
in
is
his,
the Peacemaker base in his house? Like, so that kind of leads me to believe. I think they're setting it up that he is the original Peacemaker, and that he did target minorities and kill a bunch of non-white people and stuff, and then but then what they call him in the prison, the White Dragon, that's who he actually is in the comics.
Okay.
And that is like the White Dragon is like
a KKK thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like even the DC character is
gotcha
a member of the KKK and like part of all that stuff. So I really like that. First of all, I really like that HBO Max told James Gunn, yeah, you can go there. Like just go for it. And I love that. At first, you're like, oh, you got like Robert Patrick in here, like what a great actor to get for the show, and like to pay his dad. And then you realize, oh no, Robert Patrick's going to be like a huge part of the Robert Patrick is going to be able to like full on like Terminator it up, like you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
that's what I was thinking.
Because like the first episode, you're just kind of like, oh, his dad's so mean to him, but like it's kind of funny, and then you're like, oh, this guy is very much not a joking manner, especially with what happens in the prison scene, like with that. And I like too another thing with the DC references, like where the cops keep calling Peacemaker and everybody, they call them capes, like it reminds me of The Boys where they say suits and stuff. But like I like when she was like, why did we bring him here? I thought we automatically bring capes to either Belle Reve or Arkham. Like I just love like just that throwaway line like that, like it's so world buildy, and not even world buildy, just like acknowledging the world that it's in, and I just love that stuff. I love that.
Maybe the greatest opening credits scene ever done.
Absolutely,
that just whole sequence is so funny, and the dance that they choreographed. And I said this to Sean too, and I don't know if anybody else had this like question, but I asked Sean, I was like, is the eagle real? Because it looks really good. And I saw like James Gunn did a tweet, and I think somebody tweeted like the same question, and he was like, oh no, it's done by whatever company. And I was like, holy I was like,
it looks so real.
It looks really real, because there was things that the eagle would do, and I was like, I don't know if you can train an eagle to, like, can you train it to hug somebody?
Well, that's what Peacemaker says. They go, can you train those things? And he go, you can't train an eagle without taking its soul, or without killing its soul,
or even when it like nips at what's her name, it's like tries to bite her, kind of.
Leota.
And I'm like, can you like
do that on command? Does she have food in her pocket or something? Like, is it a trained? But then no, it's completely.
And you might
CG,
be like, it's clearly CG. But honestly, like, if you look at it, it looks really real.
It's. I would say it's the real, because it has. There's no, what do I say? There's no like personified like character, like appearance or attributes or anything. It is just straight up what an eagle looks like in nature. Like, so there's no additional stuff or anything like that. So it looks so real.
Eagly.
Yeah. So good. Oh yeah, and then the last thing I'll say too is just I'm really loving this version of Vigilante. So like, so I sent you that thing where I was like, never forget, but like I love the Arrow version of Adrian Chase and stuff, and all that. That was one of the best villains that was on that show. Way darker, way more of a psychopath on that. Well, this one's definitely a psychopath, but way more of a serious tone psychopath. Like that. Well, you don't care about Arrow spoilers for Arrow, but like that version of Adrian Chase, like kidnapped Oliver's son and like was going to shoot his son like in front of Oliver if he didn't like it was it was very dark, but like it was a super dark version of Vigilante. Well, actually they flipped it around because they they didn't make Adrian Chase vigilante. He was just referred to as Adrian Chase basically the whole show, but he was super dark. But I love this. I would say equally dark, but way more comedic version of it.
Real quick, this might be a dumb question too. Is Vigilante the guy from the restaurant that was like dance? Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I could not remember what he looked like, and I was like,
that's
is that him?
Peacemaker's like, oh, that's
the so-and-so's brother.
Yeah,
or
he was
whatever,
like, that's my old buddy Gut Chase's brother. And as soon as he said Chase, I was like, oh, okay, so this is Adrian Chase.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know what Gut Chase's real first name is, but
I also had no idea that the helmets had like different powers. Like the one he had on in the first episode was like the repulsor or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with it in the comics, but I think that's more of just a show thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I love that. Like that I love that he is like, he's like, this one will and there's like a post-credit scene that was like, this one will inject you with like some like hallucinogen.
Yeah, I missed the post. Apparently, there's post credits.
Yeah, with every episode.
With every episode?
Yeah.
Oh no,
with every episode. It's very quick. Like it's a lot of.
Are they like plot important at all? Or? No. Okay.
Not so far at least,
okay.
but they are funny. Like the first one is his dad telling him that he's like I don't know. I'll just say like, I don't know, like heroin or something.
Okay.
But it's not that. It's some other drug. But he's like this one will oh no, never mind. Totally wrong. He says this one will give you scabies. He was like, every grown man should go through having scabies. He's like, Dad, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's what it is. But yeah, I know I love that stuff with the helmets that he's like, and then I like that we saw that like the sonic boom one. Mm-hmm. That is so cool. Yeah. And then just the effect on that, like it was so awesome. And that's like stuff. It like reminds me of like the Hawkeye trick arrows. You're like, what can and we know from the trailers and stuff, he goes through a couple of the helmets, so hopefully we can see more of them. But yeah, I'm super excited. Do we know how many episodes this show is?
I don't think so.
It's probably like 8 or something.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably around there. Did they ever say if it was like a limited series type thing or no?
I think for now it's limited. I think no matter what, if I had to guess, it probably won't be James Gunn writing and directing if they do another season, just because he doesn't have the time, or vice versa. It's going to be like 5 years until Peacemaker season 2, like one of those two options.